on ABC Photo Signs, you've already logged in, okay? And just for the sake of the recording, the sales signboards logins are in the admin office coverage signboard logins tab. Okay, they're all saved in there. All right, so if you need to find the logins for all the various different offices, so click on new and existing orders, and then pop in your address details. Now, obviously, the everything with an asterisk is essential. And then under the suburb, it will come up with a list. So if it doesn't come up straight away, just delete what's there and then start to type it in again. Once you've found your suburb, hit create property and proceed and hit OK. And you'll get to your product section. So for a lot of offices, we have favorites set up, which are your C-photo size wing wrap boards, or your stock boards, which you can see there are billboards. So billboards are what's called photo signboards, and then stock boards are just basic plain boards with logos and with agent details on them. So this one is a stock board one now. So if you'll see, the sizes are actually in the text immediately underneath where the heading is. So stock boards, and you can see the size. It runs along on the far right hand side, 1800 by 1200 there, or a 6x4. Or then on the next one, the A custom stock board is a 1200 by 900. And again, you can see that size there. So it should match up with what your agent selects. So you do need to click on the plus to add it to your cart. So select your product. You need to say how many when it comes to a stock board, if you want 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 if you want to. Click on submit button. And then it will drop into your cart on the right-hand side here where it says product selected for the property. So all you have to do now here is click on next. And don't be alarmed by the fact that it says total to be advised. We have a specific thing there. So you don't need to see the prices. The install instructions, just skip past this, click yes. Okay, and then at the top there, drop your arrow, select your agent, and then don't worry about where the proofs are going to or the mobile phone number there. The important thing that you need to do is to enter the property address under your reference to make sure that Liz gets the right address added. Now, when you're doing a stock board, you must, in the board installation notes box there, you must put in who your agent is. So I simply type agent Morgan Junor Larwood or Grant Gillies or Terry Defaults or whoever it is. You don't have to put their phone number or anything like that in. You simply because they are known to ABC who they are, but you need to put down the instruction as to who the agent is, because the installer cannot see the section up the top there. All right. The other thing that you need to put in, and what I always put in, is instructions to say that the QR code is attached for the agent overlay, and also as to what the agent's preference is for their photo or no photo. Okay, and you'll need to check with the agent as to what they prefer. Now, Morgan, Grant, Terry, most of your agents around here does prefer to have their photo on the signboard. So that's fine. But and also write down if there are multiple agents, you need to list all of them in that top line there. So this particular property that we're creating does have its property web link created. So we now need to go and download the actual JPEG image from Agent Box for this property. So go to your General tab and click on the QR code, which is on the social images. Right click on it and click Save Image As. Now you need to force your Windows to save it as a JPEG. So whatever you call it, doesn't matter what name you've named the file, but drop the arrow where it says PNG image and select all files. And then at the end of the file name, put a full stop and JPG. Okay, now that will force it to save as a JPEG. Now it has to be that, otherwise it won't upload anything in the ABC portal. Okay, and just hit save, and then it'll drop down, and then go back to your ABC portal and click on add file where it says installation diagram map JPEG image only. So then select that, open it, and it'll drop it in. You can see it there. Okay, then scroll down the bottom. Installation requirements, 99.9% of the time, you're always going to have standard installation. If there's something unusual where you need like a high installation or a first level or anything like that, you need to select those options. Okay, and if you're ordering a signboard for future reference, you tick the box where it says future installation date and you select the date that you want in the calendar that drops up underneath that. But just be aware it's not always on that date though. So there's usually a 2-day leeway on either side. But you must select the I agree with terms and conditions, and then you click submit order, and it's as simple as that. A stock board is really easy to order, but you need to make sure that you've got all of those details. You need to make sure that you've got your QR code attached as a JPEG. In that installation box. Now, if you don't know if you haven't got the property live yet on our website and you need to know how to create a QR code for it, a simple way to do it is to go on to on our lifestyle website, open up a listing that is in a similar suburb. Open up a listing that's in a similar suburb that you're in, and also a similar listing type. So the listing types are at the top there where it says residential, land, and rural. So this particular property was residential, and it's in Yamba. So you search for the property, and then right-click on the photograph of one of the other listings that are there, click on copy link, and then paste it into a browser up the top of your web address. And so you'll see the https://lifestylegroup.com.au is always going to be the same. That's never going to change. What will change is what's in the between the / property / if it's a residential home or an apartment or a villa or anything like that, it's going to have property. If it's a block of land, a vacant residential block of land, that property will be replaced with land. And if it's a rural property, it's going to say rural there. Okay, so that depends on the designation that the property is created in Agent Box. Then your address section. Okay, so in between property and the address is a / and there's a / right at the end. So the address of the property lands like 27 Palm Terrace, Yamba, for instance, for this one. All right, so the property that we created was 4 Kohler Drive. So you would replace the 27 with a 4, okay? And anything that's represented with a space or any punctuation is replaced with a dash or a minus sign. So 4 dash Palm would be replaced with Kohler. Terrace would be replaced with Drive. And then the suburb would stay the same because you've had a similar suburb. But if you didn't have a similar suburb, like if it was Camden Haven instead of Yamba, you would go Camden - Haven, and then you would change your postcode to match what's in Agent Box. But if you hit enter now, it should take you straight through to that listing. So, but until it's live, it will say property not found. So, but that's your URL that you use to create your property web link. Your property web link must be created in the resources under links in Agent Box before you download the QR code. So that's what's really important. You must do that in there as a property web link. And if you've created as a general link, it won't work. The landing page won't work properly. So you have to delete it and replace and hit add link again, because you can't edit an existing link. Okay, so you hit add link, paste that URL there and save it as a property web link. Doesn't really matter what you call it with a link title. I usually call them all property web links, but Wendy also likes to call them the addresses. So what do you like to call them, Elise?
Look, I put website in here.
Yeah. 6 1/2 dozen. It Yeah, it doesn't really matter what it is, just so long as it's the proper thing. And then you go in and save your QR code after that property web link's been created. So that's all pretty simple. It's not hard to create a stock board on ABC Photo Science, just making sure that you have all of your appropriate instructions in that installation box. Is everything all good with that, Lise? Do you think I missed anything?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, cool stuff. Rightio. I am going to